Oh, hey everybody, this is Ron, back at you with my next installment of Studio Albums Overview. This one is about a band called IQ. Now, a little thing with IQ with me is I got to see them back in 1993 in Los Angeles at the UCLA Royce Hall. Never heard of the band before, and I was so glad I went to go see them because I was hooked ever since. I picked up their when I was there. I picked up their first album, and recently they put out a an anniversary edition of it. A lot of great songs. I keep on going back to two of the epics of this one. The Enemy Smacks and the Last Human Gateway. Um, the Enemy Smacks always, when I watch the video of Peter in the mask, always sends shivers down my spine. I can only imagine how that show when they first did that show that song live back in the at the time of this album. I can only imagine that, and I envy people that got to see IQ before 1993. Next up, I got their second album, The Wake. This is another deluxe edition. It has the proper album, then it has bonus tracks, uh, more bonus tracks, and a DVD that also has on the DVD is a live concert. So it's pretty good to this one. I like watching the live concert. It's from they recorded it at the time of this album, not at this album. Excuse me, the remix in 2010. Next up, we have a little change in the lineup. Peter Nichols left the band. He had a short-lived band afterwards called Niadem's Ghost, which is really good. If you can find that at a decent price, I would say pick it up. It's nice to see what he did after. They got a new singer named Paul Manel. Now on this one called Nomzamo. Now this album it's kind of steering itself more away from progressive, rock to a little more progressive pop. It still has great epics, the title track and Human Nature. It has some shorter tracks, some more melodic tracks, and of this one, it's pretty interesting that Peter Nichols later, when he returned, he actually sang some of the songs off of this, like No Love Lost and Human Nature. He sang those songs, and not often do you have a band that when their original singer returns, does he or she sing what his replacement songs. So it's kind of nice. I mean and for him to do that. I mean it's just I think it's a rare thing. I mean I don't hear too many bands doing that. Next up, the band goes a little even more mainstream with Are You Sitting Comfortably? And again, Peter Nichols sang Falling Apart at the Seams, the Nostalgia Falling Apart at the Seams. He sang that one live with them. Now, this one, I believe they got signed to Polygram Records. And this was probably going to be their attempt to get into the mainstream market for whatever reason, it didn't happen. And honestly, thankfully so, because the, when Peter Nichols returned, they decided to go the opposite route and go back to progressive rock. Just, not try to make the hit single, you know. And this was a fantastic album. This is the original CD of it, and then they put out the deluxe one with a 2018 remix of the album, which makes the album sound going from great to super fantastic. I mean, the bass is like right in your face more. More keyboard sounds that were muffled in the original mix. It also has live, both CD and DVD, so you get more for your punch there. Then they decided to go the ambitious route and put out a concept album, Subterranea. Now this is a double one, and I played this one a lot, and this is one of my favorites. They even made a movie out of this later on, which is really good. It's kind of nice to see how it looks, movie wise, as going from a music CD to a movie is it's nice to see that process. And I wish more people seen it, because it's really a good movie. And the next one up is The Seventh House. Another great one. I never got to see a lot of their shows, but after 1993, the next one after that was in the 2000s. I never got to see this show, but later on, 2004, I got to see them again down in Baja California, at Baja Prague. The next one is Dark Matter. And this was, it really was, as the title suggested, it had a little darker theme. Has another epic here. Again, this is another one I love playing a lot. I mean, I don't know what it is about IQ music. It just lures you in and then grabs hold of you and just really doesn't let go. Every album, it's like, and it's like you anticipate what are they going to do next. And they do. I mean, they stay within the realm of their sound, but they always kind of stretch out and do a little bit more, get a little bit heavier on the guitar, kind of keeping up with the times, but not to the point where it's like, they're trying to sound like this band. It's like they're, I think they're just keeping up with the times technology wise. And that was a good one. I like. Now, the next one is Frequency. I got the special edition one that has the bonus DVD Live in Holland 2007. This one I like the title track, Frequency. One Fatal Mistake. And Riker Skies. I mean, I like I like those the best out of the album. Still, it's a solid album. Next one we have is special edition of Road of Bones, and I have to say this is the one that I don't listen to quite enough. And I'm gonna change that after today. I mean the title track and 10 Million Demons. And this is it's good, and I need to listen to it more. It's out of honestly out of all of the albums, I listen to that one the least. Not because it's bad. It's just I don't know why. I can't tell you why. And their latest one, Resistance, going back to a double album. And this one, honestly, I gotta say, is their most powerful one to date. Starting off with A Missile. I mean, it's the borderline right now. The sound is borderline prog metal, but without the what do you call it? The cliches of prog metal, if you want. It's one every single track. Every single track. I can't tell you a favorite because everything on this is a favorite. It's like I have to listen to it from the first song on the first disc to the last song on the second disc. If I stop it, I have to just start it all over. You know, if I stop it 3 songs in, it's like, and I go back to it, it's like I gotta start it over. It's just one of those few things, albums that I gotta listen to it all the way through. The other one, like this, is a Subterranea. I gotta listen to it all the way through, mainly because of how the songs seg to each other. That's one of the reasons there, but also the storyline. It's like it takes you right in. Now, again, this is not the most perfect video, but it's an overview. That's of my opinion. IQ is one of the best progressive rock bands out there today. As I said, I look forward to every new release. Right now, I'm in a area. The last time I saw IQ was in, oh my goodness, I believe it was 2012 at Rossfest, and before that it was 2009 at 3RP. My girlfriend got to go with me, and she fell in love with IQ, and she doesn't really like progressive rock, and she fell in love with IQ. When I played her the new album, she loved it. I think her favorite one is Ever, and she does like some of the earlier stuff from the 80s, but you know, it's like she's a convert, so it's like I did a good job there. I want to thank the band. I mean, they thank you for sticking with it and making great music. I know it's hard in these days where, you know, the music industry wants, quick buck, generic sounding music. I love that IQ does what they want to do and at their terms. I wish more bands would be that way. Even if they don't do progressive rock, just do music on your own terms. Don't have to sound like everybody else. That's the one thing with IQ, is they really don't sound like anybody else. They have their influence. You can hear some of their influences, but it's not like say, oh well, they're a clone of this band. They're a clone of that band. They're not. They just like any other band. They you can hear their influences, but you know, uh, I do hope that they come up my way one of these years. I mean, I miss seeing progressive rock live. Last live show was Rossfest. I'm up in Maine, and Maine seems to be a wasteland. Uh, but great band. If you haven't gotten into them, really truly suggest you do. Because if you like bands, let's say like my previous one, I did 12th Night. If you like Marillion, you like Genesis, you know, IQ is right there. It sits right there with those bands. You know, if you like those, you got, you know, this one. And not to say to, you know, any of those other bands, IQ really should have deserved much more success than, let's say, Marillion. I mean, Marillion's great, but IQ just had more personality, I think. But then again, that's just my own personal opinion. You know, hopefully no one's gonna beat me up on that. I'm sure there's a lot of people that might agree. But anyways, I just want to say thank you so much, IQ. I hope for many more years you guys put out music. And that's really all I got to say.